G'day cheeky dogs, my name's Margie and I'm an Australian currently living in America. And welcome to today's video where we are going to be focusing on Wendy.
Oh, I do like to be beside the seaside.
Morning, Wendy!
And in particular, is she single, divorced, part of the LGBTQIA+ community? What's going on with the family dynamic with her and Judo? We're gonna basically just do a really big deep dive into all of that. So if you love that kind of stuff, or you love Bluey theories, Bluey content, or other animated content as well, don't forget to hit that like button down below, as well as that subscribe button and bell for notifications so you know when any of these other videos come out. But with that being said, let's just do a full deep dive into this.
Morning, Wendy.
So I have done a very short video on it before, but I just feel like there's so much more that's come out with Bluey season 3 that we really need to talk about Wendy in general. So the first one I want to talk about is she part of the LGBTQIA+ community. And honestly, I think that if she was, we would have gotten a reference towards it already. I feel like Ludo Studios would have maybe like, you know, put her in the background with like another female dog at some point and like just some sort of interaction there, or maybe like verbally made like some sort of comment about it, like in the background, just some sort of hint towards that idea. And I think because that they haven't means that she's probably not part of that community. Now, of course, she could be a single mom or part of that community and used IVF to get Judo. That does happen. It's something that can happen with dog breeds as well. So yes, and it happens in real life. So that would be, you know, a pretty cool storyline to talk about, the fact that maybe Judo just doesn't have a dad, that she's an IVF baby. And again, Wendy gives off pretty strong single mom vibes. Like she's a pretty independent person, but that is a possibility. So yeah, she could still possibly be in the LGBTQIA community as well as have an IVF, single mum. But honestly, I don't think so. I really do believe, with all the evidence that we've been presented that I'm going to tell you guys about, that Wendy is actually divorced and Judo is a child of divorce. So let's get into the evidence. We're going to start off with the episode Sticky Gecko, which I think is the one that most people are pretty familiar with. And it's the fact that Chili tells Bluey, you know, I know you haven't seen Judo in a really long time. It'll be okay, rah, 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 rah.
I'm just nervous about seeing Judo.
I hear you. It's been a long time since you've seen her.
But why? We know Bluey and Judo are mates. We know they're friends, and Judo lives next door. So why hasn't she seen Bluey in a really long time? And the general consensus is that it's because, yeah, Judo's with her dad. Her mum and dad are divorced. She spends half the time at each house, and that's why Bluey hasn't seen her in a long time. It's because she's been at her dad's house for however long, and they just keep missing each other or something. So that's kind of that first piece of evidence that I think is pretty strong. The next piece of evidence, though, to support the idea of them being divorced is Wendy's free time. Wendy has a lot of free time. Like whenever we've seen her in the show, she's usually by herself. She's not with Judo. And yes, we can also say that Lucky's dad, Pat, is also usually by himself and not with his kid, or now kids, as we've found out in Bluey season 3. But again, we knew that Lucky's dad had a wife. We knew about Janelle in season 2 when he yelled out to her. We got to meet her and Chucky in season 3. So again, I feel like if there was someone else in the background, we would have met them by now already. I think they purposely have kept Wendy by herself. And again, in the episode Ragdoll, she got a lot of free time, to the point where like she just jumps into the car and takes the girls to the store. We don't see her calling Judo to tell her, hey, I'll be back in a bit, or hey, do you want to come with us to get ice cream? Which means that most likely Judo isn't there at the house. The girls are at home, which means it's not a school day. Where is Judo? She's probably with her dad, and that's why Wendy has all this free time. The next evidence again is in the episode Dirt, which is in Bluey season 3B. If you haven't seen the episode Dirt, oh my god, I'm so sorry. It's such an amazing episode, and I mean, honestly, who knows when it's going to come out. But if you're like myself and you live in America or anywhere outside of Australia, you can do what I do. I use NordVPN to change my internet location to Australia, so that way I can watch Bluey season 3B, 3C, all the deleted episodes for free on ABC iView. I have a link in the description box and the pinned comment down below, as well as the tutorial video on how to do it all. So if you want to do that, you can go check that out. But it's just NordVPN/Margie, and it is super easy to do on any device. But let's talk more about Dirt, because in the episode Dirt, we see them in the bathroom, and there are 2 toothbrushes in the bathroom. Just 2. Now, in a typical Queenslander in this area, usually, yeah, Queenslanders only have 1 bathroom. Unless you have a bit of extra money, maybe you might have renovated. But honestly, I do think that this is the only bathroom in the house, because if it was just Wendy's bathroom, again, why 2 toothbrushes? We haven't seen anyone else around. And if it was just Judo's bathroom, again, why 2 toothbrushes? It's just Judo using that bathroom. So I do believe that this toothbrush is 1 for Wendy, 1 for Judo, and that this is the only bathroom in the house.
And finished.
Is it as beautiful as yours?
Even more beautiful.
again, supporting that idea that it's just the two of them there. The other evidence is at the end of the episode Dirt, when Judo's mom, Wendy, just goes full Britney Spears. Bandit even calls her nuts, and she just shaves off all of her hair. Now, for me, this very much gave me like reminiscence of any time I've dramatically changed my hair, which has always been after a breakup. It's been a way to get over someone, to get through it. Just at the end of a relationship, you want to start afresh, you want to start new, so you do something dramatic to your hair. And I feel like a lot of other women or girls can probably relate to this. Usually when we go through a big change in our life, we change our hair. We change the color, we change the cut, we do something to it to signify that change. Like, we have this relationship with our hair that's very unique, I think. And I think that's what we see here as well.
What do you think?
I love it!
Oh, feels so lush.
Wendy even says to Bandit that it was time for a change. So I do think it's a bit of a nod to us as audiences that we're going to see Wendy and Judo in a bit of a different light. But I do also think that it's Wendy saying that she is freeing herself, that she has finally gotten over the divorce, she's gotten through it, she wants to start new, start afresh.
What brought that on?
Oh, you know,
Mom, what's this? Woohoo!
it was time for a change.
She doesn't want to be that high maintenance, high strung kind of woman anymore because she's seen the negative reaction that had on her daughter and how that affected her and her playing. So maybe she's also realized that maybe that was what affected her marriage as well. What made it so unhappy is her being so high maintenance and high strung. And she's decided, you know what? Let it go. Gonna take all of it off, gonna start afresh, gonna be more relaxing, more chilled out, more just relaxed and easygoing. And I feel like that's what we've seen from Wendy in season 3 as well. Because Wendy in season 1 and 2, whenever she would see Bluey and Bingo's family playing together, she would kind of freak out and be like, ah! And never like in an anxious way. I think it was very much a like, oh my god, what are you guys doing? She was very much like high strung, high maintenance. But season 3, we've seen her relax a bit more. We've seen her chilled out, play more with the healers, be more involved with them, especially in Sheepdog. That episode was great. And I feel like it's just her starting to finally like come to terms with it all, relax a bit more and be like, yeah, I've gotten over this very difficult time in my life, which was the divorce, which was probably what was going on in season 1 and season 2. I think Wendy wants to be a great mum, that she doesn't want to have those barriers up anymore, and she wants to have that same sort of experience with her daughter Judo as well. Now, there is one more piece of evidence that I think backs this all up, especially the idea that they were going through that divorce through season 1 and season 2, and that is all the way back in Bluey season 1 episode Butterflies.
This episode of Bluey is called Butterflies.
I just did my breakdown video of that episode, and that was the first time that I had also ever learnt about the character Caspar.
So then I went to the bakery to get some cream buns for Caspar. But
Who is this Caspar? I have two ideas, and one I think is more valid than the other. The first one is maybe Caspar is her dad. Maybe that's the name of her dad. Maybe she was pretending to be Wendy and she was ordering cream buns for her husband Caspar and he wasn't there. Or perhaps she was pretending to be her dad's new girlfriend, or perhaps also new wife, and she was pretending to order cream buns for Caspar, her dad. I don't think that that's quite the situation. I think that Caspar is the stepbrother. So I think, yes, that she was mimicking perhaps her dad's new wife or new girlfriend on the phone, who was ordering cream buns for her son, Caspar, who is now Judo's new stepbrother. Now, why do I think this? I think it's all to do with Bingo's reaction and how Judo reacts to Bingo as well in the episode Butterflies. Because right at the very start, Bingo seems fine seeing Judo pop up over the fence. And it's only when all of a sudden Judo's nasty to her that Bingo's like, what happened? Because obviously they've been neighbors for a while. Judo's probably never really had an issue with Bingo before, which is why Bingo is so shocked with how Judo is acting. And then we hear from Judo saying that, little kids are so annoying. Let's run away from them. And I think that's because she's all of a sudden has a new little kid in her life who's taking up a lot of her dad's attention. Judo in the episode Butterflies is super insecure. We can see it in the way that she acts, how defensive she is, how clingy she is to Bluey as well. And I think again that shows not that she's an only child. I don't think that stereotype fits her. I think her being a product of divorce, that stereotype fits her a lot more. That she's gone through massive changes with her mum and dad. She's feeling very insecure about her relationships with them. She wants that familiarity. She wants to feel connected to someone. And all of a sudden this new little puppy has come into her life who is taking up all that attention from her dad and perhaps her dad's new girlfriend. And so yeah, she's feeling really insecure about that. I honestly think that that's who Caspar is. Now, do I think that we've met Caspar yet in the show? No. No, I do not think that we have. But I think this would be a really good setup of maybe Caspar being a different type of breed to Judo and Judo's dad, who I'm assuming is also a Chow Chow. So I think this would be a really great way of, again, bringing in that idea of mixed breed families, blended families. It's something that we haven't really seen a lot of in Bluey, like at all, aside from Rad and Aunt Frisky, who are two different breeds who are about to get married in the end of Bluey season 3C. We think. I'm pretty positive about it. But aside from them being a mixed breed couple, we really haven't seen that family dynamic at all. So I do think it would be a great idea if Caspar was perhaps a different breed. Maybe we might even see Caspar in future episodes in Bingo's classroom. That could be a really cool way of introducing it. And, you know, introducing that character, Bingo being really surprised, like, who are you? Oh, I'm, you know, Judo's brother. And Bingo being like, what? That could be a really cool way of maybe introducing that character as well. That's just an idea. But I think it'd be a really interesting way just to show that kind of blended family. But what do you cheeky dogs think? Let me know in that comment section down below. Do you think that this seems plausible? What do you think is going on with Wendy and Judo? Let me know everything, all of those thoughts in that comment section down below. And until the next video, I have picked you cheeky dogs out a few other videos that maybe you would like to watch. And I will see you in another video. Mwah! Bye!